Hi guys, welcome back to our Express Pilates workout. Thanks for joining us. My name's Chris Neeson. I'm an exercise physiologist and the owner here at Better Exercise Physiology. The Express Pilates workout, it's all about giving you a 10 to 15 minute Pilates session that you can do in the comfort of your own home. In today's class, we're going to be focusing on hip and core strength. Really important for your low back stability, for your pelvic stability. Let's make a start. I'll get you lying on your back, knees bent, feet together. I'm going to have the arms out to the side. In this position, head resting back, just going to get you rolling your knees side to side. Just a good way to loosen up the lower back to start. Let your knees drop all the way out to the side each time. Just try and let them relax as you go. You'll feel it stretching a little bit through your lower back. This should be a nice comfortable stretch without any obvious pain. Focusing on your breathing now. Let's inhale as the knees come to the middle, and then exhale as they drop out to the side. Inhale as the knees come to the middle, then exhale as they drop out to the side. So we're using that breath out as we relax the knees each time. As we go, I'll be giving you cues on breathing, just trying to add that into the movement. Really important in Pilates. However, if you don't get the breathing, that's fine. Work on the movement to start with. Get used to the different types of movements, the different types of exercise we're doing. And once you get a little bit better at it, then you can start focusing more on breathing. We're just going to do a couple more either side. Deep breath in as you come to the middle, then exhale out to the side. And last one, bring it back to the middle. And just going to get you to set up with your feet hip distance apart now. So line up the hip bones and knees and the feet so everything's parallel. The arms will be down at the side again, the head will be relaxed back. I want you to start by tucking your pelvis. So this space under our lower back, we're trying to flatten it out. Tuck the pelvis and lift your hips up off the mat. As we lift, we're doing so just one vertebrae at a time, like you're trying to peel your back up. As you lower down, one vertebrae at a time, the rib cage comes down first. The lower back, and then the pelvis, we relax forwards, then we go again. Just want you to practice that one now. One vertebrae at a time, peeling the spine up, rolling it back down. You can imagine it like a bit of Velcro just being peeled up from one end. Imagine that sort of Velcro coming up, spine working in that same manner, one vertebrae at a time. As you lift, I want you to think about squeezing your bum. So we're working our glutes to lift us up rather than just our lower back, rather than just our hamstrings. We're getting our glutes to drive that, and the lower back and the hamstrings help out. We'll just do a few more. It's just a really nice way to loosen up the back, loosen up the spine, start to get those hip muscles working. Just push up a little bit higher at the top. We want to come up to a position where the back is straight without overextending the lower back. And just one more, rolling all the way up, and then rolling back down. Good. We're going to continue on your side. We're going to work through what are called clams. To set up, we want our head resting on our arm or a pillow if you've got one. We want you to line up your shoulders, your hips, and your feet. So everything's in one straight line. Keeping your heels together, keeping this top hip still. We can bring the hand onto the hip to give us that feedback. We're just lifting our knee up and down. As you lift the knee, I want you to focus on squeezing your bum. So if you're lying on your right side, we're squeezing the left glute, that left glute to lift up the left knee. Make sure as you lift, we're not rolling back on the mat. As we do so, we're keeping the hip still. We should start to feel our glute working. If you want to make it a bit more challenging, you can do this move with the feet up. The heels are still together. We just get a little bit more glute activation, a little bit more range of movement as well. We're going to go for another 20 seconds. Hip bone stays still. That glute squeezing, it's just like tensing the muscle up. You should feel it firming up each time as the knee lifts. I want you to actively do that. Got 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your knees down, lower your feet down if you have them up. Stretch your top leg out. I want you to straighten your top leg away as far as you can. Roll your ankle in a little bit so your toes almost point down towards the ground. Keeping the hip still again, I want you to lift up through the heel and then lower back down. So it's just a small movement. If you can go any further than this, you're probably doing it by moving the hip. So it's just a small move, just above hip height, and then back down. Focus on stretching the bottom of your heel down away from the body, towards the opposite end of the room. Focus on keeping the ankle rolled in, so the toes point down. And you'll start to feel it right at the top of the hip, and at the back of the hip as well. You might even feel your bottom hip working as well. That kind of stabilizes. Should start to fatigue pretty quick. If you're doing this exercise right, you won't be able to do it for long. If you're doing it with poor technique, it's going to be really easy and you could probably do it all day. We'll go for 10 more seconds. For the last 10, I want you to lift and hold and circle your leg, doing small circles with the leg, still keeping the ankle rolled in, stretching the leg down, going for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just lower back down. Well done. You can roll over for the other side. I'm just going to spin around. Once again, head resting on the arm. Just have your knees bent, your heels together, lining up shoulders, hips and feet. And then we're lifting our knee up and lowering back down. You can do it with the feet down. If you want to make it a bit more challenging, lift the feet up. Focus on this glute switching on. Really important that you get the technique right in these exercises, otherwise it's pointless doing them. Squeeze that glute each time, keep the hips still. With your breathing, I want you to breathe out, so exhale as the knee lifts, inhale as it closes. Use that breath out as you lift and squeeze. Inhale as you relax back down to the start. What we're doing here, we're really just trying to get these muscles switching on. Not many other muscles can work in this position apart from your glutes. It's really important that we can have them switching on and they're really strong and powerful. Really important for your lower back. Really important for your pelvis and the stability around your pelvis as well. Got 20 seconds to go. Try and push the knee up a little bit higher now. Really squeeze that glute to get the knee up towards the roof. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower the knees down, lower the feet down, let it relax for a second, and I want you to stretch your leg out as far as you can. Make sure your hip bone hasn't rolled back. Keep it directly on top of the bottom hip there. Reach the leg out as long as you can, leading with the heel. We're going to lift the leg, small movements up. Lower it down towards the ground each time, stopping just before you touch the ground with your foot. Keep your ankles rolled in. Keep your hip bone still. So as you lift, you're not just lifting up, we're trying to reach the leg away as far as we can each time. Again, if you're doing it right, it's going to fatigue really quickly. You're going to start to feel it right at the top of the hip, start to wrap around at the back of the hip. And glute max at the back, glute med and min at the side, all working. We've got 10 more seconds and we're going to finish with those circles. Lift the leg and hold, small circles. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. Let that rest. We're going to continue lying on our back. We'll go back to those spine curls. We're rolling the spine up before and rolling back down. We're going to do that same movement. Start by tucking your pelvis and flattening the lower back. One vertebrae at a time, peeling it up off the mat. And we push the rib cage down first, the lower back and pelvis. I want you to see if you can feel a difference doing the exercise now as opposed to doing it at the start of the session. After doing those glute exercises, we have a bit more activation. We should be able to feel like we're a bit stronger, a bit more powerful as we lift up, and it's a little bit easier as well. I'm just going to do 5 more of these. If you want to make it a little bit harder, do it on one leg. We'll do a couple on one leg, then a couple on the other. Making sure on that one leg that your hips are level. Let's swap legs. Do the same on the other side. If you can't do this well, just stick with the one leg. That's not a problem. Good, and just rolling back down. Hug your knees into your chest. Just some small circles there before we move on. Now that we've got those hips working well, so we're going to go through some abdominal exercises. Fingertips up at your temples, elbows out wide. We're doing a crunch by tucking our chin down towards our chest, rolling up, working those abdominals and rolling back down. So think of your rib cage pulling towards your hip bones each time. We're shortening this space in the middle. If you want to make it harder, the legs come up into tabletop. We do that same movement. Harder again, we can add in a hold with the leg stretch. Out and in, and then rolling back down. If you're finding it hard enough with the feet down, just continue with that. With your breathing, I want you to exhale on the way up, so breath out, inhale as you come back down. Elbows stay out wide, open across the front of the chest. Really important that we're able to oxygenate those muscles. Helps to carry the blood around, helps to carry the oxygen around. Again, those harder options, legs in tabletop or adding in a leg stretch. We've got another 30 seconds. With each of these exercises, we want to go to the point of fatigue, but without affecting the quality of movement. So without affecting your technique. If you're working so hard that your technique's crap, there's no point in doing it. You'll start to put yourself at a higher risk of injury. We won't get as much out of the exercise because we're not working the muscles that we want. For another 15 seconds here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees in towards your chest, roll the shoulders down, just some small circles with the knees. We've got one more exercise, then we're done for today. Last one, we're doing hundreds. Traditional Pilates exercise. We're up in a crunch with long arms and doing pulses with the arms. If that's easy enough there, do it with the legs in tabletop. If that's easy, do it with the legs extended. We've got 30 seconds. Set up with your legs, whichever position you like. When you're ready, curl up and hold. Arms down at the side. We're doing small pulses. Breathe in for 5 pulses. Then take a deep breath out for 5 pulses. Make sure your lower back is strong and down on the mat still. Got 15 seconds. I want you to try and lift up a little bit higher, stronger with the arms, deep breathing still. We're finishing with this exercise. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll back down, hug your knees into your chest one last time, some small circles to finish. Take a deep breath in. Well done, guys. We're all done. Great session. Try and repeat this a few times throughout the week just to get a little bit more benefit from it. If you want any more information, you can find us at betterexercise.com.au. Have a great week.